featured all the way from Sekondi Takoradi, all the way from Los Angeles. The very first Ghanaian musician to incorporate rap into high life music. The Gyedu-Blay man, the one and only, the legendary Gyedu-Blay Ambolley. Man, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty good.
Oh, it's amazing to have you here.
All the time, come and being among guys and girls like you, it makes everything fulfilled.
Oh, he called me girl.
Yeah. Well, sure, man. In the context, the beautiful ones are always girls.
Okay.
The beautiful ones.
Okay.
Always girls.
Oh, I like girls. So you're such a fantastic actor also, I must say.
Thank you.
Was that your first time acting?
No, that's not my first time.
Okay. Tell me about your acting.
Back in Los Angeles, I did a few of them.
Okay.
Not major ones, but cool run. Yeah, not major ones, but it gives me the glimpse of
of acting.
And aside from that, also being on stage all the time.
Oh yes.
Communicating with the people. It gives you a know-how.
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
So that was a wonderful scene in Pepper Picture. It's arguably one of the best scenes in the film.
Oh, thanks.
So super shout outs going out to you.
Oh man, I've never heard anything like that. But coming from you, I know it's something right in there.
So what do you think about going down on one knee? You are both from Amanoni and from here. So we heard from Uncle Pete Eduji talking about traditional African man and what it means for a man to go down on his knees. But you have the benefit of both worlds. What do you think about going down on one knee?
I'm thinking that concerning where I came from, my culture and everything. I don't see myself doing that though. But that doesn't show that I don't respect my woman. The white people have that in doing if they want to propose. But us, we have a way of doing that.
How do you propose as a Ghanaian man?
Action speaks louder than words.
What action?
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, because there are some men who cannot speak to women, if they even want to enjoy them or if they like them or they cannot. So they find a different way of doing that.
Like we're giving them momo.
Oh yeah, because lots of gifts and all that, for the woman to have the feeling that he likes me. That's the reason why he's gifting me all the time. But action speaks.
Maybe he's kind.
It comes from different forms anyway.
So you don't go down on one knee?
No, but I was standing toe to toe with her. Okay. My expressions, my eyes, my mouth, my tongues, and everything.
I'm sorry, did you say your tongue?
It's part and parcel of it.
Okay.
The tongue is part of me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's tongues and everything, it's just like my eyes and my nose.
Well, interesting. I've heard quite a lot in the last 1 minute. Well, you're welcome to Showbiz A to Z today, and we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you so much, and I'm very, very glad to be here, though.
The first time I met you was in TV Africa sometime in 2008.
Yes.
With Kawansa.
Yes.
And he was telling me the history of Simigwadu.
Yes.
I would like to hear it from you.
Simigwa, that word means Misi Migwadu.
Okay.
It means that I'm sitting on my stool.
My stool.
So I'm the king. So that kind of music started back in Sekondi. We were friends.
How old were you then?
Talking about around 14, 15, 16, kind of guys. Then we go to school, we come back. And the vicinity that I came from, too, many things were happening there. Signitagrad is a port city. Yeah. Whereby the seamen, they come back, those that go to Europe, America, and all that. They come back with different things and different actions and all that. So we were learning too much from there. But there was a madman. His name is Arakanya. So what you hear me doing now, that kind of Arakanya was doing it.
Oh.
You know, we were kids, you know, following this madman, then he gets fascinated sometimes, and I don't know, you know,
wow.
I will be following him. And when we come back home, then we also start imitating, you know, that we added dance to it. So we'll form a circle, and one of us will enter into the center of the circle and start doing his own thing. And the creativity that was coming out of that, because each and every person was doing a different forms of dance and a different forms of language.
Okay.
You know, so putting them all together, I said, whoa, this is something, because any passerby, when he gets there, he will stand and look at us and started laughing and all that. So, you know, it promoted and gave me an instigation that, hey, this can become something.
At 14?
At 14, so 14, 15, 16, and all that. We're, you know, continuously we're doing it.
Are you from a music family?
No. I mean, out of my whole brothers and sisters, I'm the only one. So it looks like everything was given to me.
Wow. How many siblings did you have?
We're talking about 6.
So when did you first, after you realized, okay, this Arakanya style that we have so copied and played with can be something, when did you decide to enter a studio and record? Did you go to a studio to record it? What happened? Tell us your journey from just playing around on the compound with this sort of music to going into a studio and producing the song.
I got fascinated by music because back in Signita Friday there were bands over there. We had the Weavers Band, we have the Skylights Band, we have Broadway Band, we have CK Man, Caruso 7 and all that. And anytime a party was going on or anytime a funeral was going on, there was music. You know, and I got fascinated by the drummer. You know, a drummer using both his hands and feet, you know, and, you know, playing different forms of rhythm and things like that. So I told myself that I want to learn that instrument. One of our elders was a guitar player. And when I told him that, he said, in Sekandi, we don't have a set of drums where I can be able to use that for rehearsal. If I want to do that, it means I have to travel all the way to Takoradi. But he said he can teach me the guitar because there was a guitar over there. So he taught me the 4 chords on the guitar, talking about C, D minor, F7, you know, G7, and all that. So these are the forms that we used in playing the Yampon sound, the high life, and all that kind of things. I learned from that. Then I got involved into music. Very luckily for me, Ebutela came down and led the railway band, you know, in Sekandi. I had also adored Ebutela for a long time because he was playing a band in Kumasi called the Stargazers Band, you know, and I was listening to their records and everything, you know, and when I met him face to face, that was good for me. And
was it still at 14?
No, the other time I think it was about 17.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also learned the rudiments of music and everything from the late Samilate. Samilate used to lead the Ghana Broadcasting Band. Okay. You know, things like that. So he taught me the rudiment of music, and I also started going to the libraries, you know, picking up music books and learning how to, you know, read the crutches and the quavers and all that kind of things. And a band was formed in Sekandi called Tricky Johnson Sextet. I was called to become the vocalist.
I was just going to ask you that. Uncle Ken has told us many times about how in them days there was a break time for work. Like you go to work, then there's a break time where everybody goes home to nap or something, and then there were bands everywhere. Yeah, Uncle Ken, am I capturing this right?
Yeah.
So you used to go to bands were playing live music all over the place. Now you've mentioned about 7 bands so far, and all of these bands are top-notch bands that were playing in Takoradi at the time.
Yes.
And you got opportunity to perform with them?
You know, I got opportunity to liaise with them.
Okay.
Not in performances, because that time I was learning.
Okay.
But that gave me the chance of going to them to go and learn the guitar chords and the rudiments and all that. And as Uncle Ken was saying, you know, we were talking about work and happiness. You know, that was the time we would talk about the realities of Ghana. You know, the work and happiness of which, you know, you go to work, you close about midday, then you go to afternoon jumps and everything, and you know, you return, go back to work, and after that, you know, after 5 o'clock, there's another jam. Because, you know, it was.
Did you have an afro?
Yeah, I did.
Oh boy!
You saw that, didn't you?
Yes. I see. Now, so you had opportunity to learn live from these bands. I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on our current music arts? Do you think that they are also, or the art of apprenticeship is still alive now in our local young musicians? I
don't think so, because the chance we had in going to our elders to go and learn, they don't have elders to go to learn.
You were here.
Well, I'm here, but they are not coming.
Yeah.
I went. I got up and went. They need to get up and come, because we all get up and go to school. The school don't come home.
Yeah.
We all go to school. So these are the things that sometimes I speak with them, that, hey, music is language, and you must know the nitty-gritties of the language, because if you travel outside of Ghana, go to another country, you meet musicians, it's the language of music that will put you guys together.
Yeah.
But if you don't know that, then you handicap. So these
you said you talk to them?
Mostly,
is it something that you do?
Yeah, mostly. Sometimes when we meet at festivals, performances and all that, we used to talk, and some will be asking that, Mr. Ambolley, why don't you pass on your legacy to things like that? Yeah, I say yes. There's no problem, because the younger ones, they are the future, but they need to be schooled.
If there was a musician, one of the young guys that you could take under your wings and teach, and prepare, I don't know, the way that you were taught, who would you go for?
When I look back, there are many of them. I mean, when I came back from America, like a Brafo like that, the way he was using the tree to rap and things like that, yeah, I liked it. Sarkodie, them all there. I mean, but one thing that is taking me back is the music that they use in putting the raps to.
Yeah.
They're not using music that will identify us as a people.
You mean like the instrumentals?
Yeah, the music structure itself. And because every country has its music. Every country. And we have ours. So if we want to let the world know what we have to identify.
So you're saying that when you hear local music now, it doesn't sound like original Ghanaian music?
No, it doesn't sound, because they don't know music. They haven't taken the time to learn music, so they are always dependent upon the beat maker, somebody who is standing there with the Fruity Loops and cutting and pasting beats and then they form a rhythm. So they put their hope into that person, and whatever that person comes out with, they put the rap to it, or they will go to that person and say, "Oh, Charlie, I like the beat of the way that song. Can you?" Then he also listens and does the same thing.
How was it done back in the day?
Back in the days, from human to human, because when we go to rehearsal, it's human to human. Drummer, bass player, guitarist, drum.
You record live.
Yeah, everything is yes. Everything we share ideas. If the chords are not good and everything, we talk about it. But this time, it's only one man.
Isn't it more convenience? I mean, when it comes to cost of production, for example, because I can imagine how much a full band would cost versus just one beat maker in a corner studio somewhere.
That is the reason why when you play Bob Marley's music today, it's still alive.
Yeah.
It's still young, because they're human to human, and then they recorded it. You see, so if you don't do that, then it becomes one-sided. Because if all of us here are playing one music, each and everyone is contributing his feeling and everything towards the sound. And if there's any chordal differences, they discuss that and move forward. But now it's try and error. Even if your voice is not good, the computer can regulate your voice. So they get problems when they go to stage to go and sing without those regulators and things like that. So as we were growing, our seniors used to say shortcuts are dangerous. Now the younger ones are using shortcuts, man, and things like that. Yeah, what's up, man?
It's a social media age. We want everything quick.
That's where the problem is.
But would you say that even though it is the area of I don't have time, I just want to produce this fast, we still have some really good music?
There are some that are good music, but all the same, if it's done, it must be done properly. Because the music has to cross the borders.
Exactly.
Yes, because at any time I'm doing my music, I think about my music crossing the borders.
Okay.
That's where you're going to get some income and everything.
Yeah.
Locally, if you do it locally, it stays here. And people just get fed up easily. When I came back, there was music like I do, you go any party, it's there. But you don't hear it today.
Yeah.
You see?
So music.
Yeah. So anytime we do something, we have to allow the music to stay young.
How about the young ones nowadays who I think record live and are doing well internationally? Somebody like Wiyala, for example. I recently listened to her cover of Osibisa's Wayaya, and I was absolutely thrilled. Have you heard it?
I heard it.
What do you think about young chaps like her?
Yeah, she's forcing her way, and it's good.
I think she records live. Uncle Ken, is that
yes,
correct?
she does.
Wiyala, yes.
Okay.
I like her.
She's forcing her way into that direction. It's good, but over there, many times you need to have a producer, you need to have a manager, you need all these because the competition over there is too strong that you need to get yourself prepared. If you want to take where you came from, your identity to try to penetrate with it, yes, you have to just keep on concentrating and just doing that. But sometimes if you want to sing like Jay-Z, or there was a woman from Jamaica, I forgot her name, but she's Wiyala wants to take
Angelique.
You see.
She's not Jamaican though.
No, she's not Jamaican.
No, I know where I remember.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you take that direction, then it's like a try and error. You have to know what you have. You have to know what you want to allow people, to see or hear coming from you.
Okay.
But her Africanism and whatever that she's doing is totally good.
Okay. 0244-340-437 is the number you can reach us on. 0244-340-437. WhatsApp us. Let's know what you think. We are discussing music with the Papa, Gyedu-Blay Ambolley. You were the coolest musician in them days. Am I capturing that right?
You did. And you still capturing it.
You were the one with the swag, the music, the right attitude, a fancy accent, and the girls.
Where I came from.
So I would really like to get into your head a little bit about growing up, not growing up, but becoming Gyedu-Blay Ambolley. How was it? I mean, your classmates, your siblings, your friends, and being the superstar.
Even my classmates, they found out that I'm going to be a musician.
Okay.
Because many a time, back in the days, we used to go watch public movies. The public,
the cinemas,
the public ones. And I remember one time we were watching this. I think it's something about Lord Bob Cole.
Oh yeah.
His film. We were watching it. There was a break, and they introduced the Broadway band.
Okay.
When the Broadway band started playing, all my classmates, Ambolley! So it's like they also, saw something in me that my contribution is going to be by music. And hey, man, what?
So it didn't come to you as a shock, or you and your people as a shock or surprise. You knew from day one that this was the part you were charting.
I'm telling you, because where I grew up, I didn't have a radio. There was only one man in our house that had a radio. And at every 10 o'clock in the evening, in the night, he puts it to a Voice of America. So there was a jazz program from 10 to 11. And I'm telling you, every night I was at the back of his window, listening to music. And so the motivation and everything was, too early for me.
You knew exactly what you were doing.
Thank you so much.
Uncle Ken.
Yeah.
Did I startle you?
No, you didn't. The first time I heard of Gyedu was in the UK.
How old were you?
How old was I? Late 20s. Yeah.
Not your football age, oh.
No. I am 66 now. Okay. So if I tell you the late 20s,
strong and sassy.
Yes, strong and sassy. That's why I like strong and sassy. And a friend brought me Gyedu's album, you know, in the UK, and I listened to it and I said, wow, I like this. And you know what I liked about it? Because I grew up on good high life music. And when I say good high life music, I mean high life with the big band sound. So I cannot get swayed from people who call their music high life and is devoid of the big band sound.
What's the big band sound?
The big band sound is the instrumentation. Gyedu, when he performs, he has about 4 hornsmen minimum. A trombone, a saxophone, a trumpet. He has all that. You know, he has the percussionists. He has the bass guitarist. The minimum number of people he will play with as a band will be about 10.
7 actually.
Unless it's a smaller place, and then he might go for 7 people, depending on you know what. But if he has to play to his full potential, he would play with not less than 10, because he needs that sound.
Yeah, with female vocals.
With female vocalists, backups, and all that. I mean, he needs that. And that, to me, is the sound of high life. And when I listened to him on that album, I followed him, and I have almost everything by Gyedu. He ventured into jazz, and he did the interpretations he came up with jazz standards and classics. It's amazing. You know, so he's somebody I really admire. I mean, I've been following his exploits. He's been playing the Montreux Jazz Festivals. He's been playing, and how many people have? What do you mean? Huh? You just don't get up to go and play Montreux.
No.
Why don't I identify your music as jazz?
It's incorporated.
It's incorporated.
Okay.
Very jazzy.
Yeah.
You know, it's incorporated, and I always love to listen to him, you know. And the thing I like about him is because he grew up in that era, he loves improvisation. He loves improvisation, and that is jazz. You know, you improvise. He plays the saxophone. He's adept at a lot of instruments, like he told you initially. And this is a musician that I respect. And I have no qualms about it, because I grew up listening to music in that era, and it's never going to go away from me. So when I listen to high life and I hear people, the other day I was listening to a conversation on Hits FM, and they were talking about somebody, and they were saying that his proper high life, and no guitars, nothing, just programming, and people call that high life.
That's a fraud.
Absolute fraud. So I quickly sent a message to Andy Dusty. I said, Andy, please.
That ain't high life.
That ain't high life, exactly. I sent the message.
Okay.
You know?
But let me ask you. Uncle Ken, I wasn't born in them days. I was born in only 19.
You were not even conceived.
But I also grew up listening to music from that era. Because
correct.
Good music.
Yes.
And so I appreciate good high life music.
I know.
When I hear it.
I know. And you like jazz. I mean, you send me messages on my show from time to time when you hear. Yes, because you grew up listening to your dad.
Yes.
A lot of people have their influences from their parents. You know, the sort of music their parents were listening to at the time. So I'm not surprised that you do. Go on.
Well, thank you. But I wanted to ask you, I mean, we have a lot of music award schemes. Well, a couple of music award schemes that always award the highlight act of the year, and some songs that have been in the highlight category over the years have been an issue of great concern.
Correct.
For example, on this show, last time we discussed with Makweku Mante on this show, Ebony's Hustle. Is it Hustle? Hustle. Is it Hustle? It's Hustle.
Yeah,
the song.
Yeah.
With Dimija, the Dimija. Right. So Ebony's song was on there. Kwame Eugene's song was on there.
Yeah.
And
Shatawale.
Yes.
What was the song they said was highlight? The one that won the highlight song.
But Okweku Mante extensively explained to us Why I, for example, didn't think that Ebony's Hustle was highlight.
Correct.
But Okoko Mante gave us an extensive explanation as to why it was good quality highlight music. I don't remember your position.
I've never agreed to some of the music people identify as highlight, because I've just told you why. I grew up listening to big band, the pure highlight musicians.
Okay.
And there's no way adulterated high life is going to do anything for me. Yeah.
Let me just recall something Mark said. He said high life is in the beat. So it's in the
exactly. George Quay also made that same point one day when he was a spokesperson for DGMA.
Okay.
And he said that so long as he had the it could be classified as
the Jama or sorts of rhythms.
It could be classified as high life. And I said to somebody the other, I said, listen, then a lot of the Sana Watanabes and those people's music, and the Brazilians and the South American people's salsa could be classified as high life. Because they all have that.
Yeah.
They all have that.
So what makes high life music?
I've told you what I think.
You see, it has that. It comes from two connotations out of that.
Okay.
One is the male, the other one is the female. The male one, to our Osibi music, that's the male one. The female one is so these are the two diversions, coming from the connotations that signifies high life. But that's the basic. What about the additions? Because there has to be some things around it that you yourself will feel inwardly.
Thank you.
That this is home music.
Home music.
The percussion.
I like the sound of that.
You see, the percussion alone, the guitar riffs that are added, the horns.
Yeah.
I'm going to you play. You play the horns. You mentioned the horns 3 times.
Yes, because the horns, the brass section is what holds the music together. I mean, I don't know, but I always tell you now that as for me, I'm into instrumentation.
Yes, you have.
More than lyrics.
And I'm the opposite.
You're the opposite, yes. But I just love the instrumentation. And I tell you what, when I listen to music being classified, it's the same with Afrobeat. Now people are classifying something as Afrobeat. They've added an S.
And S.
Yeah, and a Z to it, and it's Afrobeat or Afrobeat. Yes. And then somebody from the originator of the Afrobeat country comes up and does tunes that follow the Afrobeat line, and it's getting worldwide, approval. We're talking about Burna Boy.
Yeah.
And he's getting worldwide approval for what he does. And people don't understand why.
Let me come to a lady and gentleman from nowadays. Everything's giving me people said Auntie Whitney, please. Auntie Whitney, Uncle Rasta. I'm coming to you guys now.
For me, I'm glad today I've met.
You haven't met him before?
No, I think every time I met him, he's either in concert. Yes.
So you've seen him?
I've seen him, but not this close. And I've always had a question I want to ask him because I've heard some comments every time. The question of who is doing her life now. What does he think about the new generation her life? Is there nobody doing it anymore? And what can they do?
Well, the thing is information, and it's education. These two things are very, very important. That whatever that we're doing, we need to be informed, and we need to be educated, because that will become the arms, that is going to help you to become more stronger and things like that. So the younger ones are not doing it these days.
Okay.
They are adulterating it, taking something because the other time Kevin Boy was saying, this time we're doing Afrobeat, and we have the Afrobeat. No. Afrobeat derived out of high life. And the high life is your basic music of identification. Anywhere you go to South America, you know that they have jazz, they have what we call it, funk and all that.
Salsa.
You go to South America, salsa. You go to India, Indian music. So if you come here, we have our own. Where is that is left behind and copying a small country from Jamaica that has made reggae and region popular? Usain Bolt is coming from a small country like that. And we are a bigger country more than Jamaica, and we can't produce that. We can't produce anything rather than copying what this small country is doing.
So you think we are lost?
Totally, the younger ones.
We need to
with me. There might be variations of a musical genre.
Yeah.
And like everybody understands, and everybody accepts that life is evolving.
Yeah.
You see, my only issue is for the generation, your generation that was so into high life. You need to understand that there's evolvement.
Correct. That's what I'm just saying. That there might be variation.
Yes.
And I like what the young kids of today are doing. I like what they are doing. My only problem is when you classify the music that they are doing today as being able to win an award
for that title. Okay.
Then I get a bit worried because call it Afro pop, cool. I don't have a problem with that because it's Afro pop.
Because for me, I like the song that was just played, the Radum.
See the richness.
I love it, but I don't like her life.
And why don't you like her life?
Because she's a nice girl.
So you don't like one region?
Not really.
You don't like Kiddy?
No. Listen, what music do you like? I grew up on classical, country, jazz.
Okay.
So I would listen to that.
The old school.
Yes, all day.
You see, that's the same thing with me.
But you like her life.
Yes.
And I think for some of them, they don't really know what her life even is. You mean the young ones? The young ones.
Okay. They didn't experience.
Like it.
That's true.
Because if you like something, you can ask me Dolly Parton's album back to back,
name them.
and I will name them, and I'll tell you why she did this song, that song, because I love her, and I've learnt about it, and I learn about it every time. But for them, I think it's a means to an end. They need to make money. That is what's being pushed on them. That when I look at you, you look like somebody who will be a producer or a manager. Will say you look like somebody who should fit the high life bill. That is why for somebody like the late Kofi B, I give him that respect. He went back to palm wine music, and even though I don't like high life, when I hear authentic high life,
you can identify.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's the gap we're missing. That for a lot of them, they don't even know what they're doing.
Right.
Okay, let me say something. You know that we are people of different tribes. When we go to dance, upon invitation or anything. When we get there, when you go to disco? Not disco. Okay, let's say let's go to the disco.
Canada dance at that time.
Okay, when we go to dance and Agbaja music is played.
Correct.
It's the people who knows how to dance Agbaja that will get up and dance.
Not everybody.
No, I'm saying that people who know how to dance to that will get up. If they play Adwa, it's the same. If they play Kundum, it's the same. But the moment they play high life, everybody comes to the floor, whether you are aware or so that is the music of unification.
That's true. That's true.
That's the power of high life, because everybody comes.
It is our music.
Yes.
Now I am somebody that I revere musicians because I was denied being a musician.
Oh, you had aspirations?
Yeah, the way I love music, you have no idea. But my strict mother then will not allow me to venture in there. So all I could do was listen and appreciate.
Wow, Uncle Ken, you'd have been a musician.
I swear to God.
Wow, you swear to God. My God. You would have had because do you have any hidden tattoos?
No, I don't.
Which genre? Wait, what were you working with genre of music?
Me?
Yes.
Of course, jazz.
Okay. Do you play any instrument?
No, I don't. I've just told you that I was denied.
Presbyterian.
Kwame, catch your own.
You could have played Presby band.
And you know the instrument I would have played?
No.
The piano.
But they should have.
You know why? Because I go into church, the Presbyterian church at Akropong, and they had a Farfisa organ that the organist played the hymns with, and now when you hear Presbyterian, when you hear the sound of that organ, you get goosebumps.
It moves your inside.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know.
And I loved music. I always the only thing I asked my mother for was to get me a little radio set, because I listened to all music programs on radio, and that's why I love all kinds of music, but my favorite is jazz. When I was growing up, I did not like jazz. When I was growing up, I liked my highlights, the songs that were played, those things, and then the pop music that was coming from abroad.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael is a young boy. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and I liked my rock. My rock with Eric Clapton and Three Dog Night, Led Zeppelin. There was all kinds of music coming into town, and good guys like Mike Egan and co on radio exposed us to that kind of music. So you got into a wide variety of songs.
You know what's exciting? 30 years down the line, we're going to be on some radio panel saying in 2020 the kind of music that the musicians were producing was rich, authentic music. That's
maybe
music.
Maybe.
So may I just ask you that back in them days when you were producing your music, did you have critics from the older generation feel that you were not making good music, or your lyrics were not strong or powerful, and so on?
Yeah, it was right there because of different bands recording and all that, and like you mentioned the name of Mike Egan and all that, you hear them playing different forms of music.
Right.
And many a time, if you go to record, and some of the lyrics are not, properly set and all that, you get producers, telling you that, let's rectify this, that kind of format. So that thing was there. It's not there. It's not here today, but that thing was there. So it helped the musicians in shaping and restructuring every lyrics and everything that they come out with. Because sometimes you be in your room, put down lyrics and things like that. That's what your mind tells you. But when you hit the studio, the producer here says, Charlie, no. Charlie, that's right, if, we put this word there and things like that. So before the end of the recording, everything is right in place.
Awesome. 0244-340-437. 0244-340-437. Send in your messages. I would love to hear from you. Rasta.
Thank you very much.
Now that you have finished ingesting the substance in the bottle, we would like to hear from you. He said some substance.
Those fruits.
I have had. I've been privileged enough to serve this legend here in Ghana, on the continent. We've hit the road a few times, and so not just him, Papa Youngson.
Correct.
Pa Thomas, Amachidede. I quite remember we were somewhere in Cape Town once, and then Amachidede gave me like $4,000 to hold on his behalf. Amachidede, and I called my friend who is an Amachidede fanatic, And I told him that, yo, Charlie, I'm actually he nearly died. Like, he's never met him.
Right.
And he knows that I roll with Amachi, and now I'm holding his money. You know, so I and Ambolley has always been that kind of person that you wouldn't feel out of place being in his circles. Like, I mean, look at him, you know, and there are certain, I mean, but he's a good guy, he's a cool guy. And so hearing you guys go about it, especially you now, you know, in 88 Indotech, I was there, you know. Yeah, I mean, Indotech.
What year was Indotech?
I don't know what is going on.
Now, but Uncle, when you were recounting the madman incident that influenced or you, was that rap? What he was doing?
Yeah, it was a formation of rap, though he wasn't mentioning words. Okay. You know, it's like he was murmuring. Okay. You know that one.
Okay. So I guess it was scat.
Yeah.
If it was not rap,
like a scat.
It was scat. In music, we have something called scat. Like
how them did the scat.
Yeah.
Somebody who does even scat nowadays. If you come.
It's only the jazz people who do scat.
No, but there are musicians who do scat too.
Wow. Rasta, how are you nowadays? I mean, how old are you?
He's old.
He's old? Okay, I know that which musician has announced himself.
It will come to mind, but outside.
No, I'm curious to know though, how old are you?
I'm not 40 at all.
So how old are you?
I'm not 40 at all. Listen. Because I know this, I would have mentioned 36. Yes, sir. But I was out there in the streets quite early. When I was way younger, I used to go to rehearsals of Senior Didonko. May he so rest in peace. I used to go to yes, and then he was friends with my mom, his wife, and Auntie Rose. So, and we lived on the same street in La Paz. So I was there in the rehearsal room. Bobo Kala used to bake bread behind the rehearsal grounds at La Paz. So I've been around, you know, and fortunately I'm here now. I wanted to get to that bit about the scat clear because your influence or your claim to rap is and in your submission you said that you do not like the music that
the young ones
do, not the rap, but you mentioned of Brafo, for instance, because of the music that they put the rap on. Now I would say they are just being revolutionary in their expressions because you are one huge anti-establishment revolutionary when it comes to music. And so for you to cite that as something you are not comfortable with, and you being you with your pedigree, I would reach out to listeners, young people who are listening, that do not let your heart be troubled.
No.
If you do the normal, if you do what Uncle Gyedu-Blay Ambolley expects you to do, you'd never stand out. You can never beat Gyedu-Blay at what he does. You can only stand out if you do different, dare to be different. Because, and most often than not, listen, I have taken upon myself the trouble to, when I was managing Obrafo, to take him. We drove all the way to South Pond to meet Uncle Ebo Taylor. It took us about 7 months before we got hold of him because he was all over the place. And when he came, his manager called in that, listen, he set up the meeting, then we went. Now, the whole purpose of the visit was to pay respect and also try to get him on a track. We were going to put out an EP titled Salt Pond. Okay, now, in our conversation, I asked him what he was doing for Enamafo, you know, today's generation. And then he sat, and after a while, he re-echoed, he said what Uncle Gyedu has re-echoed here. the school doesn't come to you in your home. You go to the school. So if they want me to do, and these were his exact words, they don't come to me. So how do I teach? You know. So again, if there's anybody listening out there, if you do not go to apprentice from these men, and like Ejakonimu once told me, he says, Kwame, the library is on fire, and very soon, when we are all burnt out, the ash is what you'll be left with, and you cannot do anything with it. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You sound so wise.
I mean,
but then it was a quote, so.
And he's a poet too.
Yeah. I get it. So, yes, it is true that if we do not go to these men, nothing would happen by way of legacy. But whilst we are at it, you see, if we are grappling with what high life is and what it is not, and his bit about it being that symbol, that beacon of Ghanaianness in terms of, you know, and the illustration he made, if Agbaja is being expressed right now, only a few people, but when high life, it's sort of, you know, we rally around that. It is true. But high life itself is not like when God created heaven and hell with Ghana next to it, he added high life as a byproduct. No, it is an amalgamation of influences. Like when the Liberians came in from Liberia and they were doing some sort of, we were doing music anyway, our kind of music back in the day. And then the white, the civil servants, for the governors back in the day, Gold Coast times, they wanted entertainment. They wanted people to, so their kind of music, and then having to rely on local talents, the influences. It is a whole like a confetti of sounds. It's what we called high life. When it was institutionalized, when it gained roots, it had a mainstream, and so it became, okay, it was noted, certain sound was noted for, okay, this is the Ghanaian way of expressing music that was in demand by the white establishment. Now, so the high life itself is just a jargon that described the jet set demand of that kind of music. High life. So it's not like, again, when Ghana, yes, we own it, it is ours, but it is not like a region. I don't know if you get, like, if we are saying that what the kids do today is not high life, I am saying that the influences,
Kwame.
their influences is such that they do not have a choice.
Correct.
Because so when he was espousing what it takes to produce high life and why that is what should be high life. Today, the last time I made an attempt to produce authentic high life, early last year,
you can't afford it.
I spent about 5,000 CDs on one track.
Right.
Which is
that expensive?
It is frighteningly expensive.
Because you have musicians.
I brought in a bassist, lead, a trumpeter, a saxophonist, a drummer, and then percussionist.
Right. You're saying spending 5,000 CDs on a track is expensive?
In today's
hold on. 5,000.
I don't know.
Okay, yes, it is for one track. 5,000. In fact, 3,000 could get you an album. Somebody's album.
Is that so?
Yeah, because you sit behind a computer and come up with it.
Wow.
But he had to pay musicians.
And no, hold on, I'm not speaking to mixing master.
So it's not expensive to produce music?
No, not
hold
today.
On, see, when you sit behind the PC.
Today, yes.
Not
today. Hold on, there's a difference. Nah, don't get too excited.
Okay.
Don't let anybody go into music. Don't let
seriously consider it.
Hold on, don't let anybody lure you into investing in them without getting the full details. We don't have time. But what I'm saying is, at that stage of production, hiring the musicians, getting them in a room together, okay, 5,000, one sitting. You've not mixed, you've not mastered, you've not filmed the video,
right?
Okay. Now, what came out was authentic. Okrekuman, they listen to it for like what 10 seconds. Like, oh, but this is a hit. This is proper high life. Okay, now Kwame Eugene would not go through that process, that painstaking process of hiring the musicians, and I'm only using him as an example. No disrespect. But if anybody says that that is not high life, then we are trying to box these musicians into relying on influences that is simply not there. He had his influences from the Eboteles, the CK man, persons with influences just right from heaven. You know, they are the next generation, and then his music is jazz dominated.
How did he describe his music?
But aside from what you were describing, I'm not cutting you, but you know, the high life itself is just like cooking soup. You know, we have light soup, we have granite soup, we have palmano soup. You know,
they're all soup.
They're all soup. But you know, talking about the granite will take more money than
the palmano,
than
the light soup.
Than the light soup.
Yeah.
Whatever that these young guys are doing, or whatever that they are using today. The computers and everything is there. The computer, you have to manipulate it before you can get whatever that you want out of it.
Correct.
But before doing that, you need to have that knowledge to be able to get what you want from what it's, you know, what's in the state of your mind. You know, you have to get that knowledge to know how that, okay, this is what I want and I'm going to get it out of
Kwame Eugene again, for instance, plays the keyboard perfectly. So you understand, he knows his quavers and semitones and whatnot. Now, because of his influences, okay, he does the music that he does themed on high life.
Correct.
Again, you see, you were influenced by the Eboteles and whatnot, who did something a shade different from what you eventually produced, or let's say your last album. Your last album was jazz biased, if I mean, for want of a better expression. Now, can you imagine Kwame Eugene, who never met CK Man or his records, but met Gyedu-Blay? He definitely will not do a Gyedu-Blay, but will be influenced by a Gyedu-Blay. So the end result is not supposed to be like what CK Man did, nor Gyedu-Blay.
Correct.
No.
I'm making an excuse for them because there are youngsters out there who, and rightly so, ought to be inspired by your exploits out there.
I agree perfectly with what you've just said, enumerated, and that's why I'm saying that. I like what they are doing today. It's evolving. Okay, remember when the Ghanaian musicians got to Germany, George Daku them and Lido do them, and they also started recording with German producers. They themed their music Bogger High Life because they then learned into synthesizers and other forms of, you know, computerized production means, and the music was still rich and sounded really nice. But if you compared that music to the CK Man's and the authentic high life that I am talking about, you'd have seen that they had eliminated a lot of the horns and things from theirs and relied more on the synthesization.
And they added the funk.
And they added the funk drums and stuff. So the team did Bogger High Life. It still was high life that had evolved. So my only problem is what these guys are doing currently and call it high life. If we are not careful, the actual high life that we know Ghana for will be lost.
Then
because you see
what I mean.
But aside from that, you know, when we go to school, the syllabus and everything is the same. We all learn the ABCs and that. But at the end of the day, when we try to speak, everybody speaks differently. You know, using the same words and that sort of format. But the basics are always there. So the basics needs to be there all the time for identification's sake. that doesn't mean that whatever that they are doing. No, maybe they've toned it down to the light soup way of making high life, and there's no problem.
Yeah,
because it's still eatable.
Yeah,
and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, but
enjoyable.
there are some significances, and there are some things that needs to be around it.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, we cannot say they have to do the high life that were
that you were doing
in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
No, we need to evolve.
Would you classify Lumba's music as high life?
No, it's not. It's vulgar high life.
Lumba?
No, it's vulgar high life. In fact, Kojonchi himself has said it's not a high life musician.
So what Uncle Ken is saying is,
he said that.
For what the young acts are doing, while you appreciate it,
yes,
it is not high life as we know it to be. So if they had some modified name for it, something high life,
correct,
I
wouldn't have a problem. Yes, I wouldn't have a problem.
All right, let's listen to what Arnold has to say on this matter.
I wouldn't have a problem if they did.
Initially, I was getting jaded with the conversation. Then right now, it's starting to make sense. Because listening to Uncle Ken and my legend here, the two of them are legends. So, what is authentic high life?
High life with the big band.
Oh, madam.
Music.
High life is high life.
And what is high life?
It's high life.
No,
you are not saying anything.
No. It's high life. We all know the definition. We are not coming to go back and define it. My worry is, why do we want to classify it now? So we have authentic high life, and we have what else again? You understand?
High life.
It's high life.
We have traditional high life also.
And we have traditional high life. We have, guitar band music.
Okay. And I'm excited that at this moment you guys are now appreciating the fact that there's evolution.
Oh, of course.
And the fact that we like what the
young want. That you guys are appreciating, but we know that long term.
No, because coming in
the evolution.
Coming in, I was a little bit confused because you, for example, you've over the period you have been castigating these young guys. And I start to be corrected, but I do not have or know of any instance where you ever congratulated any artist, the young ones, regards to the music. No, I'm seriously.
No.
Like, you should go to their homes and carry them. Like, how you want to make it good congrats?
No, how is to for this them all the time?
There's some question where they
I said over the period. I'm saying constantly there's been a backlash. You are telling me that you should go to my husband.
All right. Okay, it's okay. All right, let's have one conversation and let's calm down. Okay. All right.
They make you congratulate them.
Of course, Mr. What? Where is it?
Why you congratulate them?
Why you bash them too?
Why you not congratulate them?
My brother, it's not about a matter of bashing them or dissing them or no. The senior man is talking. When the senior man is talking and the younger ones don't understand, the younger ones need to come and ask the senior man, you said this, why did you say that? And what is the reason of saying that? This is it. It's not a matter of, it's not in my mind to go and sit and bash. No.
Okay.
Because we are all in the same boat. We need to enlighten each one another along the way because they are the younger ones coming. You see what I'm saying? So, matter of dissing them or it's not out of my way. But when I speak, they don't understand. They need to ask why. Did I say that?
When he bashed them, give me one instance where he bashed.
Oh, they can't talk about the bash.
So maybe you should shut up.
No. It was the reason why I asked him that.
Yes.
Is there nobody doing her life like it should be done anymore? Because unfortunately for him, he might have said some good things, but all the highlights have been on every time there's an interview with him, he seemed not to be happy with the kind of highlight that's being done now.
Is the media that twists what I say?
Yeah.
Every day they are media.
Exactly.
So you think Ahmad will say that the trouble by fighting or calling?
You are holding your phone.
Hey, you people can shout. Oh my God. Okay.
Arnold.
Yes, sir.
Arnold, you see, let me look at Arnold.
Yes, sir.
You see, when you take a genre like jazz,
yes,
you have traditional jazz.
True.
Okay? When they say traditional jazz, you know what you're talking about. Okay? Then you have mainstream. You have contemporary jazz.
True.
You have Latin jazz.
Okay.
Okay. You have acid jazz. The black
acid?
Yeah,
acid.
There's acid jazz.
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
You have acid. You have a whole variation of the genre played by different people, but it is all jazz.
Yes.
You see, and it is clearly defined.
Okay.
And that is my worry.
Okay.
Because I think we should say we're talking about traditional high life
Okay.
as we know it from the past. There's gut bucket jazz.
Gas bucket.
Gut bucket jazz. You know when people do you know the reason why in them days?
Uncle Ken, you shouldn't say reason and why in the same.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Them this language, you understand?
the reason people.
Thank you.
Say it right. We are on Joy FM, not so.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for correcting me. You know, when people get up and want to say things that are not true, sometimes what happens to them? They get caught up in a way that they cannot explain themselves. So if you talk about music and you want to classify music, when you classify it, nobody will have problems with you. But if you lump the whole thing as one, like we're trying to discuss this evening, the young ones coming up. That's why I brought about the Burger High Life thing, because people realized that it was not traditional.
Yeah.
It had evolved. Yeah, it had evolved. It was not. So as for me, like I've always said, I love what they are doing.
Yeah.
We all dance to it. We all enjoy the music. You know, when we come to jazz, there were jazz artists who, with the advent of the computer, abandoned instruments, and an artist will go and sit in his room and program everything by himself. You buy the album and it is drum patterns by this, synthesizer by this, everything by the person except maybe the instrument that he plays.
Would you want to mention some names? It's not like
wait,
I mean,
the jazz artists.
No, the people who sit in their rooms and produce one or two things.
I'm talking about jazz artists, not Ghanaians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about jazz artists who you might not even know. So
I don't
even bother me.
You are bad for making any further comments.
To mention the but they found out very quickly after a while that the purists were not happy with what they were doing, and so they went back into actually playing instruments.
I know that you following.
But my mind is made up.
Yes, your mind is made up.
So as for your mind,
no. Seriously, this is quality education.
Exactly.
Seriously.
As for your mind,
the mind being made up is.
I agree
with regards to what is pertinent in the industry.
Oh yes,
you get it. Because at the end of the day, the two critical elements in music projection, that's the radio presenters and probably the streaming the services and all that stuff, and especially the fans. Do they care?
No.
Exactly.
They don't.
Because at the end of the day, it's about the money being made.
Correct.
The shows being played. The shows being attained.
And the people enjoying.
How about passing on good quality music? How about passing on good quality music? Are you okay? So I think that
are you saying the ones being produced are quality?
No, I would dare not say that.
That's what some of them.
I would dare not say that. But Arnold, I mean, as an artist, while artists want to make money, I think passion drives what an artist will do. And an artist who wants to produce a certain kind of material because he's passionate and he wants to pass on good quality music to the next generation. That's just by the way. But Uncle Ken, you know, I used to attend the Burger High Life concert at the National Theatre. There was a concert called Burger High Life.
Okay.
I don't know if
Goethe Institute to organize that.
Yes, I used to attend that when I was about 18 or 17 years old. And I always wondered why it was called
Burger High Life.
Burger High Life. I never really understood. Because I knew that High Life was High Life.
Right.
I remember, I think Papa Youngson was on all the time and so on. I never really understood why it was called, Burger High Life. But listening to you today, it's giving me a very good appreciation of what the difference is. And I do side with you, Uncle Ken, that if we could call High Life that does not have the big band or all of that instrumentation, if we could call it New Generation High Life or whatever kind of High Life, I think it would do our music history some good. Because in the next 50 or so years, when we talk about High Life, it would be good if we were referring to High Life that was produced in them days.
Correct.
And not the modern era High Life that does not have the sort of instrumentation that
traditional high life does
you take an artist,
what you are saying is being done over there.
Yeah.
They have so many radio stations. Some of them are playing traditional high life.
Correct.
Or traditional jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are playing funk jazz.
Yeah.
So any genre that you want, there's a place to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But here we were doing the same thing. I mean,
forcing people to call it almost like highlight.
Yeah.
There are variations.
Let me listen to some jazz by Gyedu-Blay Ambolley, and then by which time Rasta would have soaked in some good music to calm his young raging heart. Let's listen to Fantasy.
You're my fantasy, baby. Gonna make you real. I don't want to touch anyone but you, yeah. You're my inspiration, baby. Gonna make you real. I don't want to hold anyone but you, baby. Ooh. From the very first time that I set my eyes on you, baby, my heart told me to follow suit. From the very first time that I placed my eyes on you, baby, my heart told me, whoa, to follow suit. You're my inspiration, baby. Gonna make you real. To hold anyone but you, baby. Ooh, 'cause love you more than words can say. You're the apple of my eye. Gonna keep on loving you, baby, to the brink of dawn, baby.
Master, are you still running out of airtime? Make unlimited Airtel Tigo calls from as little as 60 pesos a day to 20 cedis for a whole 6 months. Simply dial *111# and select unlimited call bundles today.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
It's time to go back, way back into time.
Rally round the flag, rally round the red, gold, black and green.
This Independence holiday, let your hair down and get your dancing shoes on as we reminisce with the legendary international band Steel Pulse live in Ghana.
Greetings, Ghana. This is David Dredd of Steel Pulse. I say come and check us out March 7th.
Alongside the maestro, Mr. Music Man, Kojo Wenji, perform back-to-back hits in an unforgettable VIP concert experience. Saturday, 7th March at the Grand Arena inside the Conference Center. Get your tickets from ticketprogh.com. X-Men, Jam Run, Harlem Stores at the mall, and Chatterhouse. For standard, 200 CDs, premium, 300 CDs, and VIP, 500 CDs. For VIP tables and ticket delivery, call 0501 288 520.
I think I know King James version.
Steel Pulse live in Ghana Independence Bash is brought to you by Chatterhouse. 20 years of creative magic and Joy FM, celebrating 25 years of media excellence.
Unity for everybody.
Multimedia Group Limited, in partnership with SES, KNET and WillowAfric.com's e-learning project Willow TV presents Joy Learning, a channel dedicated to providing educational content for all levels. The channel launches with a special focus on senior high school educational content because we believe in nourishing the minds of the future generation. Joy Learning is providing equal access to education no matter whom you are and where you are in Ghana. Joy Learning collaborates with SES, KNET and Willow TV to deliver a new learning experience. Study with Ghana's top teachers and lecturers on the Joy Learning channel so individuals, senior high schools, community centers and libraries get your multi-TV digibox now. Joy Learning. Keep learning.
More TV for free.
You see, it is important to always wear your headphones when you are talking in the studio because you never know when some malicious presenter will activate your microphone while you are talking about things behind the scenes. Check the time is 5:30 p.m. You're tuned into Joy 99.7 FM, celebrating 25 years of broadcasting excellence. My name is Na Ashoko, and this is Showbiz A to Z. We've got only 30 minutes to go. Can you believe it? Well, time runs when you're having good conversations. By the way, have you heard about Uncle Ebo White's final quarter play? I mean, first quarter play is the final warning. Yep, the final warning in partnership with Joy FM, Graphic News Plus, and the National Theatre. Born into a loveless marriage, a dysfunctional home with a bleak outlook for his future, Samuel attempts to transform his future and his family's future. This attempt sets him on a course away from his calling until the final warning comes. The final warning play is on a man's struggle between survival and his destiny. The play is scheduled to take place from the 29th of February. So we have one on 29th February, then 1st March, 5th March, 7th March, and 8th March. 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day at the National Theatre for only 80 Ghana cedis. You can buy your tickets from Joy FM, Shell Shops at Airport, Dansuman, Sakaman, East Legon, Achimota, and Tema Community 11. You can also go to Bacho and Hachona. Bachona and Hacho. Oh my days. Anyway, so that's Bachona and Hacho total. Okay, then you can go to the girl shop at Achimota Mile 7, the Motorway Supermarket, Frankie's Atosu, Quick and Fine Supermarket opposite the UPSA at Medina, or on the short code star 876 hash. The official ticketing partner is Thrill Organizers. For more information, please call 0500-46010, or you can WhatsApp 0505546030. TV partners are Joy, media partners are Joy FM, Adum FM, Hits FM, Joy News Joy Prime, Adum TV, Graphic News Plus, myjoyonline.com, adumfmonline.com, the Business and Financial Times, Logistics Movers, Daily Guide, DDP Outdoor, and Web Soft Solutions. You can buy your tickets for Final Warning now on www.rovermanproductions.com. Terms and conditions apply. Roverman Productions, be the difference. Now, 3 Music Awards 2020 categories. Viral Song of the Year. Here are the nominees for the 3 Music Awards Viral Song of the Year. Roro by Agbeshi featuring Medical.
Say it right.
Roro. But that's how they say it in the song. Roro. Yeah, Roro. So I'm just listening from. Okay, so alright, so it's Roro. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So there's also Kakalika Love by Sister Deborah featuring Chameleon, Shatawale, cultural anthem. And then there's Omwada by Medical. Then there's Pilolo by Guilty Beats featuring Mr. Easy and Kwesi Arthur. And then there's Davin Abba. That's right. Oh goodness! I thought that has come. Oh my goodness! Davin Abba, right? By mention it. Kawala. Yeah. Featuring Patapa. Then there's Dondo. Mami Bodondo Papesa. And you know why I like that song? There's a certain gentleman on social media who has his own rendition. What's his name nowadays? I don't remember his name. Kofi Ansen's bestie. Okay. So to vote for your favorite viral song, dial *447 *3# and follow the prompt. 3 Music Awards 2020 is presented by 3 Music Networks: Joy FM, Hits FM, Joy Prime TV, and the Fantasy Dome. And E&E Ghana with support from Love FM, Joy News TV, Adum TV, Asempa FM, Inshira FM, and myjoyonline.com, Gold Coast Restaurant, Volta Hotel, Akosombo, and the Radio Advertising People Trap. 3 Music Awards 2020 here for the music. And my favorite thing in the month of March, Ghana Month on Joy. We are traveling around the country. We're going to all the 16 regions and we're seeing all the cool places. And we are starting from Cape Coast. We are starting, Cape Coast, Kumasi, Kintampo. We are going to Damongo and to Tamale. We call it the Conquer Ghana Tour for only 1,555 Ghana cedis. You can join us as we tour the Cape Coast castles, the Asim Mansoon slave markets. We'll go to Tamale. We'll go on a very fancy safari tour. We'll also go to the Larabanga Mosque. We'll go and see the Mystic Stone, and we will also go to the Mensha Palace Museum, where we'll have the show live, by the way. So with only 1,555 Ghana cedis, you can join us from the 6th to the 8th, and your money covers your transportation, it covers your accommodation, it covers the tours, and your flight back to Accra from Tamale. So what's better than this, eh? What's better than this?
Can I come and leave my children so you take them?
I will do that for you. So if you want to be part of this tour, all you have to do is just Momo it everywhere you go. And the number to Momo as on is 0592889986. The Ghana Mountain Joy is proudly brought to you by Joy 99.7 FM and Adansi Travels. You can also call us for further inquiries on 0592889986. Uncle Gyedu-Blay, do you like touring or tourism?
Yeah.
Are you answering for him? You know that he does.
Yes.
You know that he does.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the things I expect you to tell these young guys, because these young guys, they don't like touring, and you are experienced with regards to touring and the benefits that it generates for the artists.
Yeah.
So
you have to be in demand to tour.
I know.
Or you can go on tour and then
you can't talk about. Somebody's promoting a tour, Ghana tour.
Oh wait, are we talking about different kinds of tours?
Yes.
I am talking about tourism. I'm not talking about taking your music on tour. So that's great. That's a great thing to to contribute to the conversation, the importance of going on the tour. But I'm talking about traveling for fun.
For fun.
And
for adventure
as an artist.
Knowing places, new places.
Yes, going to see places and just daring to do things. As an artist, I think that people in the arts would lean more or would be more interested in adventure and touring and seeing the world. I don't know if I'm thinking only for myself.
Now, how many of our regions do you know?
Oh, all of them. Well, not all 16 nowadays.
Yeah.
But but when it was 10,
you've been to all.
Yeah, I have. And this was in my adult life. Not even.
You know what they say about guns?
I know. That is why I'm saying when I was younger.
Last week,
what the people who had control over my life did, I didn't know anyway. The only time I left Tashin was to go to Benkum Secondary School. and that's the only other place I went to.
Climb up the mountain.
Until I went to level 300 university. I saw the University of Ghana for the first time. I'm not even joking. I didn't go anywhere.
Now you know something.
My last stop was Laskala.
Okay.
That was my last stop.
Now you know something that just crossed my mind. I wanted to ask Arnold. Arnold, you've heard people say you're talking jazz.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that is said all the time. Do you know how that came about? No. It came about because the music that was being played then days, the traditional jazz, was very difficult to comprehend by ordinary music lovers. Because it could be all over the place, kind of.
Well, that's a very Ghana insult.
Yeah,
I think it's your kind of
really.
jazz.
So people tend to when they did not understand what you were saying or what you were doing, they say, jazz. True.
Please, I want to read some messages coming in. 0244340437 is the number to reach us on. Kobe from Atimpoku says, categorize Lord Kitchener's music for me, please. All right.
Kitchener is more calypso oriented.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's our life too.
You could say so.
Yeah.
Wow. Uncle Ambolley is blessed. Wow. His track you just played really transcends with great music. What great music should have. Why do we still love Bob Marley's music? Because it's obviously authentic and it has the ingredients of great music. This Ghanaian generation, in a desperate attempt to get money quick and easy, would find quick schemes of producing tunes which even sound Nigerian. Why would a Ghanaian musician need recognition as a Nigerian musician? Serious flaw, I must admit. I wonder why young Ghanaian acts choose to do that. And then they blame the DJs for not playing our music. That's from Shem Mixon Yeboah, into bracket Bros Bar and so on. All right. Hello now. What constitutes music is what makes it high life or not. The modified high life was later called Burger High Life. Get people from the Department of Music from the University of Ghana to come and enlighten us further. And that's from Eddie Otime. Well, okay, thank you for your contribution. All right. More messages coming in on 0244340437. You're tuned in to Showbiz A to Z live on Joy 99.7 FM. Hello now. High life is Mr. Ambolley, late Papa Yankson, Pat Thomas, CK Man, AB Krenzel, and E.T. Mensah. My playlist any day, anytime, and that's Srotoy Yemling.
You see, that's as far as he knows the high life. He's not even mentioned E.T. Mensah and Co.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello now, Pete is right 100%. Okay, it's not our tradition. In our tradition, it's not showy. You only show during the traditional marriage ceremony. When Eurasians do it, they call it engagement. Our engagement is our marriage ceremony. The problem is that we have been bombarded with so many Eurasian soap operas and romantic movies to the extent that our minds have assimilated this as something that we must do. But it's not for us as Africans. Thank you. And then he says, hi now, Mr. Blay Ambolley said exact exactly what I was thinking. How does a whole huge country or continent put their music aside only to take one from a small country like Jamaica? Everyone is doing dancehall and talking like them. African music is the root of all music. We should hold on to ours and let the Jamaicans copy us rather. The current generation is lost. Thank you. And that's from Kwesi Broom. Okay, I appreciate your music. Your comment. Here's one for Uncle Ken. I'm with Uncle Ken. Same thing happened to me. I've been dating my lady for 5 years. Then one day I said I want to come and see your parents for engagement list. That's all. I'm currently preparing for my marriage in June. That's from Nia. He said, okay. All right. Hello. Now, did you just say those who wrote the president's speech are not on Twitter? I think I said that, and I think I shouldn't have said that. So I am sorry. Please, let's leave it. Let's end it here. So that's from Eagle Eyes from Temat. Eagle Eyes. I take that back. Okay, it was a joke. Don't take it seriously. Hi, good afternoon, our STEM ambassador and your able panelists. We will do more. This is a scam concerning the Ogidi Brown is saying rewards or awards is what will prove her worth to society, and that's from Chronicles.
So what do you mean by this is a scam?
I don't know.
That what? No, I guess that him lying in the hospital and not saying.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Oh, right. Speaking of awards, can we talk about awards? Gyedu-Blay Ambolley is here. Do you believe in awards? Do you think that awards are important in the life of an artist?
Very much so, because if you do something that is good, you need to be awarded for that. For you to be able to know that the contribution and everything you put in there wasn't just for contributional sake.
In your opinion, how should awards be? Should they be by popularity, like voting, or should your music be judged based on the content and how good or the quality of?
Yeah, I think the panel, they need to have a panel. Not giving it out to the public to vote for whoever that they want. No, I think they need to have proper panel that understand music and all that to be able to justify whether your music needs to be awarded or not.
How about the fans? Those who consume the music.
The fans, many a time there's some, discrepancies in there. I mean, people sometimes pay some people to just, voting, that many things happen. But aside from that, I think there needs to be a proper, set of a panel that, will put your music in perspective to be able to know that it needs to be awarded.
Okay. I know they say from 3 Music. I think your music is 100% for the ones that are not industry categories.
Well, it's an odd mixture of public and then technical kind of or academy
technical,
or board. Yes, and our technical comprises of academy and the board. So it's an odd mixture, just like you have with the VGMAs, you have for the BET.
Was the first edition 100% public vote?
No, it's always been an odd mixture of both fronts.
Okay.
And so,
Okay, I see. Very well. All right, we've got about 14 minutes to say, or 13 minutes to say goodbye. I'm going to go around the table once. Uncle Ken, you want more time?
Yeah, we could leave you here. I mean, we could leave you here. It looks like you're okay.
This is my home. Leaving me here will not be anything.
Feel right at home. Kodofa Shoma had a question for me. I didn't read it. Did you visit all 100 schools from Monday? No. We launched. We started talking about it from Monday, but we've been working on this for 2 years. So yeah,
it's a great project.
Thank you, Uncle Ken. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Uncle Ken. So you have an event coming up soon, don't you?
Yeah, next week Saturday, the 29th at the Alliance Française. And whatever that I went to Europe to do, the experiences and everything, we're bringing it back. I just want to share that with my people.
Okay.
I want them to come, and it's going to be started from 7:30, and getting public is 50 cities.
That's right.
Students is about 30 cities and members, and below 16 free.
Oh, below 16 free. What kind of students, by the way? Because some people have driving school.
Well, if you can prove that,
if you have the card, and I do. Yeah. I'm definitely going to that.
Can I be your date?
Yeah. If you see, she always says it and then she vanishes. I won't see her. At the end of the day, I won't see her.
Because I always wait for my date to call me and pick me up.
You know,
never send a car to pick me up. How am I your date?
I'm going to watch musicians perform, and that's what I love, to see people who are adept at their instruments play and make me happy. Synchronization of all the instruments resulting in a wonderful sound. And that's what Gyedu's concerts are like, I mean, I was privileged to have videos that he sent while he was on tour. While he was at Montreux and other places that he toured over last year.
We'll be there.
Wow! Yeah.
What time does it start?
7:30.
7:30. All right. So it's only 50 Ghana cedis to attend if you're not a student. And I hope you all come out and enjoy great music at Alliance Française. Yes. The ambience and everything is perfect.
Oh yes.
For the kind of music that you do. Okay. So Arnold.
Yes, madam.
You are here.
I'm here.
So
did you talk about the ladies branch?
Yeah, we're just going to talk about that. But may I just please say a very big thank you to Uncle Gyedu-Blay Ambolley for coming to. We're supposed to talk for an hour, but we couldn't stop.
No, we enjoyed it.
It's all well enjoyed.
We have thoroughly enjoyed your presence and contribution to today's show and to music conversation in Ghana.
Thank you so much. Anytime, any
we'll
day.
Be there on the 29th.
Any moment.
Looking forward to your performances on Perfect Picture 20 years later.
Yes, so much so is going to happen.
Nice one.
We need to talk.
I'll come
Okay.
He needs some knocks.
Okay, guys. Nice
because he's wearing his coolie high forward and yours is backward. He feels cooler.
Nice one.
So Arnold, what's new with your music?
We do want to start with me, women's branch. Okay.
She's hugging, so she's
So we have an outline of events that's supposed to culminate into the main event. That's the Three Music Awards itself. But then before that, we've outlined some events like the women's branch that's happening on the 8th of March.
Yep.
And then the Fan Fest that would happen on the 14th of March as well.
That's International Women's Day, huh?
Yeah. In commemoration with the
Equal for
Women's Day.
Yes.
So let me speak about the Fan Fest briefly, and then Whitney will take the women's branch bit. Fan Fest is derived from the word France Festival, and so it's a day that we've set aside for the fans to interact with the artists, especially the nominated artists. And it's just not a nominees jam. It encompasses a lot of activities within the creative arts, from music to food, exhibition, fashion, sports. And so on the day, we start in the morning to end in the evening, where you have actually the bash or the jam. But before that, we'd have art exhibitions, face painting, body sculpturing. Oh yes, you have games, sports. You would have a lot of interactions with the fans together with the artists, and so it's a whole package.
Right.
It's a whole package, and this is one of the events that would want to make it help solidify the Three Music Awards brands, and so that's what it's about.
And you tell us more about the 8th Women's Branch.
Yes. 8th Women's Branch now. The hug has made you.
The Women's Branch on the 8th.
Yes, it's the Three Music Women's Branch, and it's on the 8th of March at the very historical gardens of the Osu Castle.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Look at that. Fancy.
Yes, we're hoping on that day. We've got such good response from amazing bodies who want us to not only just do this on just 8th, but to extend the talk beyond that. So we are looking, apart from the Equal for Equal, which is this year's International Women's Day theme, we are looking at gender-based violence in all spheres of work. And that's something that a lot of international bodies want to discuss. So we are starting the day as a branch, and we know how Ghanaian times work. If you tell them 7, they come at 8. But this time we are getting a lot of bodies that are telling us that we've been campaigning on International Women's Day brunch, 3 women's brunch. So we're starting at 11, and we're doing a live panel discussion on your able channels here at Multimedia, and we are looking at honoring. We are at 15 now, 15 legends in the creative arts industry, not just in music and movies, but we are looking at women who work with iron rods, women who work with pots making, beads, women who are into beads, women who are working with wrought iron, and it cuts across. We've been even artists. Yeah, we've gotten, apparently I didn't even know she's such a friend, but she's been doing this her life. They have shows they go to, and when you talk about every time honoring women in the creative arts, we always seem to zero it down to the movies and music, but these are people that cut across. So that will also happen on that day. And then we have another panel discussion where we are discussing funds, because we felt it was very necessary to discuss this. It's becoming too rampant that the moment a creative arts person goes on retirement, the next thing you hear, they're roaming on radio and TV, soliciting for funds to take care of themselves. So we felt that the conversation of funds, how to take care of your funds, especially when you're in your prime, is very essential. So we should have that discussion as well. And then funding for especially women who want to get into the creative spaces, where to go, who to ask for, funding that will not kill your business eventually. So those are some of the things we'll be doing. And of course, have the best of brunch. So anything brunchy you can think about.
Is it free?
Yes, it's free, but strictly by invitation.
And is it only for women?
No, and for men who believe in the cause of women.
I see. Quickly, let me ask this. You see, something creative popped up during the week.
Okay.
Government decided to send Edinkra meat pies, sobolo, gari, shito, and things to our
the people in
China. And I hear that bit of creativity was by a woman, you know, and I applaud her. I'm so much in awe of
what she's done,
you know, that decision to keep them there for a while. So such a person, is she eligible for consideration for awards at from what you are saying? It's not just with music and film, that creative
awards for just taking things to China.
No, I mean it's creativity to be able to, because I mean, but for her creative and
Edinkra pie.
And I beg you, we are closed
there for a while.
We are closed. We are closed. Thank you, Rasta. Arnold, yes. Do you want to say one last thing? I know, but we are closed.
No, we should continue voting for all the categories for 3 music awards, just like we read the viral song of the year. We should do the same for the other categories.
Okay, all right, Arnold. Asamoah Baidu speak for the 3 music awards. With me, Buachi Mensah is the co-executive director of the 3 music awards Women's Initiative, and Uncle Ken is my date for the 29th. The women's branch. Co-executive producer of the women's branch. This show has been produced by Philip Nye and George Quay. Special thanks to Selwyn on the social media desk, responsible for our live streaming and all your tweets coming to us, and to DJ Wubetis, the man with the music. Ernest Menu is here with the news. My name is Na Ashoko, and this has been Showbiz AZZ live on Joy 99.7 FM, celebrating 25 years of broadcasting excellence. Thank you for listening.